step number 2, and this is a big one, this one. In my 21 years experience, this is if a presentation doesn't work, whether it's 60 seconds, 60 minutes or a whole day, it's usually because of this is missing. Have I built it up enough? Is there anticipation in the room? What's the word? Intention. Intention. You need to be crystal clear. How clear?
Crystal clear.
Crystal clear. That's part of the research. It shows if people repeat stuff, they learn it better. So I'm not just doing it, to be silly and make you plan around, which is good planning around, but actually learn. So yeah, you need to be crystal clear on what your intention is. Yeah? So for instance, my intention tonight is that you guys walk away from this evening feeling that public speaking isn't as difficult as you thought it was. The ones that thought that, or even the ones that thought, okay, that you go away feeling like, hey, maybe I can actually do this. And maybe it can even be fun. That's my intention. Yeah, crystal clear intention. Any questions about that with intention?
I'd have to say,
yes,
from one of my experiences, that you can have a really good intention when you're giving your speech, but if you don't know your audience, let's say they're fairly conservative, that can be a problem sometimes. I've only had one bad public speaking experience, and it was because of that. So the intention was good, but the audience were quite conservative, and I didn't know that. So
okay. Well, I was going to ask, is it important to know who's in your audience? Yeah, very important.
Or feel your way if you don't know them.
Yeah, yeah,
Make assumptions.
yeah. Don't assume that everyone's going to... That's why I tell people, don't tell jokes. Jokes are very dangerous unless you're a comedian and people know they're there to hear jokes. Because what can happen when you tell a joke? Can offend people. So this side of the room might be in hysterical laughter, and this side of the room might be totally offended. So yeah, know your some really good points. Thanks for that, Susan. Know your audience. Have an idea who's in the audience. What's a good way to know your audience?
yeah.
You know how I like keeping things simple? I'll show you a really simple way to find out your audience. How many of you are business owners? Okay, most of the room. So there you go, right now, which I already knew this because Liz told me, but now I know most of the room's business owners. But we don't want to leave anyone out. So how many of you are not business owners? Okay, so now I know how many business owners, how many not. There you go, bang. Another good way, speak to the event coordinator and she'll tell you who's in the audience, whoever organised the night. Yeah.
So you've got to be very adaptable. So therefore you've got to know your subject very well so you can angle it.
Yes, great point. What's your name?
Wendy.
Wendy, give Wendy a round of applause. That's a really good point. That's a really good point, Wendy. In fact, I'm so impressed, I'm going to give you a copy of my book. I'm going to give one to Susan for giving us that, and I'll give one to Wendy because that's a really good point. What was that?
Really good too, so I get a book.
Oh. Give me some extraordinary answers or comments, and who knows? So what have you learned? What are some of the things you've learned so far?
You need passion.
Passion? Yes, thank you. What else?
People interact with you.
Get people to interact?
Yep.
Yeah?
Keep the energy high.
Keep the energy up.
I notice hardly you are talking, so that's another thing.
I'm hardly talking. Not doing a lot of talking.
No.
Yeah.
Making us do,
Yeah, great.
involving the audience.
Participation.
Almost. Almost. Okay. Look at how many books left by the end of the night. Well done.
Thank you.
No, that's a really good point. That especially if you're going to run an all-day workshop, you don't have to be using so much. I used to do that. I used to be exhausted after, because I was doing everything. You don't have to. Great point. What's the other?
I think you're asking a lot of questions to people as well.
Yes. Questions. Really.
Reinforcing what you've already said.
Reinforcing. Asking lots of questions. Yeah. So notice. You remember what I said? I only teach people what I do. And this is what I do whenever I'm in the audience. I'm there with two hats on. One hat is as the student learning. The other hat is as the teacher. So you can sit there and learn from what I say, from what you learn from others interacting. You can also take note of what I do, which was just pointed out then. What is it I do? I ask a lot of questions.
You're listening.
Listening, yes, very good point. Listening. Writing. Acknowledging, thanking people, even giving them books for crying out loud. Especially when they ask for them.
And try to build on what people say.
Yes,
as well.
because we're all smart. There's so much knowledge in the room. Yeah, I don't know it all yet. I'm not an expert.
Can I just throw in
Yes, throw something in.
I always think of Q&A, Q&A, they've got all the experts sitting up there, and I'm often reflecting on the fact that the audience has all the knowledge and they can't get a question in,
Yeah.
There's only selected questions from hundreds. But we don't actually draw upon that collective wisdom often, if at all.
Yeah, that's a great point, Susan. I'm not giving you another book. I've often thought of renaming public speaking to, as this gentleman, what was your name, sorry? Martin. I've often thought of renaming public speaking to public listening, because the best speakers listen to the audience. You have to be a really good listener to be a good public speaker. Listening for, are people engaged? Where's the energy in the room? Are they interested? Have I upset anyone? Blah, blah. Listening. Yeah? Good point. Listening. All right, let's get back to our 5 steps. Who's learning? How many of you are learning? Wonderful. Great. What's the first 2 steps? Step number 1. Passion. Have passion for your topic. Step number 2. Intention. Yes, very good. Give yourselves a round of applause.